what were hurdles or obstacles that you encountered when you first started yoga practice?
So I guess the only thing I wish was a little more positive when I began is just some sort of education on props or tools, or maybe if there isn't the option of props and tools, on how to be aware of your like body's limits, because my body trying to forward bend versus your body, like I had a big belly when I started. Like my belly is where I really carry my weight, so trying to forward bend and how my spine looked compared to how it's, just there's all those things that I had no awareness, and so I was just trying to flop my body any way they were trying to tell me, and I was trying to get it to look like how they were describing. But so that, I guess, is the only thing, is I didn't feel like the directions were to me or my body, so I was trying to make my body fit to what I was hearing, I guess, is my only complaint or negative negative feedback on beginning out is not knowing. And then that my ego. So after I started when there was no props, so if I'm going somewhere where there's props, you best believe I'm not grabbing no damn props, because why do I need that? But now I want to tell people how badass props really are, like how amazing, and how if you can add a prop into your practice, how many more benefits you might actually get from that pose versus trying to reach your hand all the way down to the ground.
But bring the ground to
you with the prop, how your body can receive so much more from that right pose when you bring the ground to you, versus trying to force yourself to where you think you should go. Then your body's trying to, I feel like, protect, so you're not really receiving the benefits that you should be getting there.
Welcome to episode 5 of Yogakane, Yoga Love. I'm Lauren Sanders, your host. Thanks for tuning in. It's Valentine's Day of 2019. Let me introduce you to this week's guest.
Miranda Susan Jimerson. I live in Pasco, Washington, or it's more commonly referred to Tri-Cities.
I'm going to keep this intro short and let my interview with Miranda speak for itself, because we cover a lot of ground.
One area that I would really like to tap into is, where the hell are all the plus size yoga clothes?
And we talk about sports bras as well. This time that I had with Miranda was not only fun, but it was inspiring, as she talked about how yoga transformed her relationship with food, her body, mind, and spirit.
Yoga gave me that. Like, yoga introduced me to viewing myself, like I said, as enough, and loving myself, and learning how to love me and my body for the journey that I'm on. Like, my body now, I still got a belly, I still got rolls, I still got stretch marks, but you know what? I'm damn proud of this body, and I'm about to put it all out there for people so that they can start becoming comfortable with theirs.
I dedicate this episode to anyone out there who has ever, will ever, or is thinking that they are not good enough. Because you are good enough, and you are extremely loved. I send you my love this Valentine's Day. This episode was recorded on January 14th of 2019, when Miranda and I were taking an accessibility yoga training at Yoga Joy North in Spokane. Please enjoy. What kind of yoga do you teach?
So I've been really lucky to kind of make up my own. But no, no, in all seriousness, I teach a really gentle style of yoga. So I offer a beginning benders class, and I came up with that name because I wanted it to just kind of be, when you look at a regular schedule, like, what am I looking at? What was this class going to offer? I just wanted it to attract to that extreme beginner who, okay, I can maybe bend a little. Like, okay, this might be a little more accessible to me. So that class is a very gentle intro to yoga, where we spend it on the floor. So
Cool.
we'll start in either a seated or a reclined meditation, and I offer their choice, finding like kind of where their comfort is to start, and just introduce how you can use the block and the bolster in the beginning as everyone's kind of getting set up. And then it's kind of fun to see how everyone falls into their own. And then we go through and just warm up the joints, and I show them how they can do an entire yoga practice on the floor, and that you don't have to be up and down and sweating like crazy or bending into weird positions to experience the benefits of yoga. Like sometimes when we're doing just some of our joint warm-ups, I'll make a joke and be like, ooh, yeah, there's our shoulders now, like just kind of bringing awareness to the area that we're working on, or just holding a pose and bringing awareness to the breath, and then coming out and kind of feeling that. So
Yeah. What kind of feedback are you getting with that class from your students?
that it's not what they expected for yoga, and they feel really relaxed. So they come to the class, we move, we stretch, we get connected, and then they can kind of just take that breather. Like we go and have so many demands and so many like high expectations of ourselves. Like I want this class to be a safe space where you can come and realize that even though you didn't get that to do checked off, you're still enough. Even though like you didn't make that job or you didn't get that promotion, like you're still enough. Like that's what I want to offer. I get emotional about it because that's kind of what yoga taught me, is that I'm good enough. Like I used to sell myself short thinking that I wasn't good enough here or I wasn't good enough there, but I am.
Yeah, you are.
So that's what, like, I guess my style of yoga is it's a real gentle, like, intro to yoga and kind of that self-love.
That is so beautiful. That's a good class. Like, I bet it's extremely powerful for people.
It's an amazing group.
Yeah.
So that was actually my first class. That was my practicum class. It kind of just kept on a regular schedule. And we've got a pretty good tribe that's of regulars that have grown, and watching their journeys like transform, and then to watch like someone who's never done yoga before, but they're coming because I'm the one leading the class. Like that's such an honor, like that they're trusting me to share this with them, and then they come and then I can see that I was able to introduce them to a little bit of that yoga love, because you can see some things clicking, it just it's really cool.
It's so cool because it's showing that yoga isn't like standing on one leg with your arms up in the air. Like yoga is just like sitting on the floor, just counting your breath and just like giving thanks for every breath that comes in. Like that's yoga right there. And it's just connecting with that moment.
I mean, we're going to learn how to do yoga in a bed tomorrow. So yoga is not about the crazy poses that you can get your body to. Yoga is about just that love, that connection, that perspective, the
shift in perspective,
the detachment from the things that used to hold you back, or the things that used to stop you from what you want to do.
Yeah, it really is. I know, like it's just yoga is just like this. It sounds so cliche, but it's just like it's an inward journey where like the reason for the asana, the physical practice, is for us to overcome how we feel about our physical self. So we do the asana to fall in love with our bodies, and not in a way that's like, oh, look at me, aren't I pretty? Like I'm in tree pose, I'm in dancer pose. It's about like on the inside, your organs are talking to other organs saying, oh, look at me, we're working, I feel so good. Your skin is talking to each other, and it's feeling good. It's like your body is falling in love with itself so that it can ripen the body, so you can start to now go deeper in. You can start to now go into a meditation. You can start to now go into like uncovering maybe some stuff that's hard to see, but you're going to start to uncover this beautiful part of yourself that is just like waiting for you to get there.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I truly feel like everything up until this point has shaped me for this. Like, I honestly feel like I had to go through like my weight struggles and my experience to be in this position, to be able to offer this to other people who might be able to relate to those same type of like feelings. Like, I wouldn't be able to offer that like from my heart if I hadn't lived through it.
Yeah.
You know, like if I hadn't had that experience. So like, and my experience has been like really emotional. Like, it's been just in the kind of an emotional roller coaster. So, you know, to kind of be out and see the positive in that, like that yoga showed me.
Why did you start practicing yoga?
The physical. I was at work, and one of the guys that worked on the production floor was actually a Bikram hot yoga instructor.
Oh.
So a few of us up in the office said, okay, let's go check it out. And I was about 90 pounds heavier than I am now. Really inflexible, like no real physical activity at the time. I went because I heard it was hot. I don't mind the heat. I figured I could sweat out a few pounds. Like, even if I couldn't do anything, there was going to be some others there with me so we would just go and see. And I signed up for the first time student monthly, like, try it out deal. And the first class, like, I literally felt like I was dying in the first like few minutes trying to do the breathing exercises. Like, my neck hurt, like I felt like I couldn't breathe. Like learning how to breathe when I first got into that room was like the first thing, is because like the heat and humidity took my breath away. And I didn't realize that up until that point in my life, like, I was just a shallow mouth breather. Like, like, I know.
But how you said that is just like
but I didn't realize, like, you know, like, where my breath really was. But kind of looking back, it makes sense why I was like so kind of anxious ridden, because my breath was just like right here all the time.
And so could you explain that a little bit more?
Like, taking a deep breath.
Was.
Like, I just felt like my breath was just like not much further than my chest. Like, I didn't have very deep breaths. Like, you know, when we breathe all the way down into our belly, like, I used to feel like I got stuck if I tried to take like a deep breath. Like, it just, I didn't have deep breath in my, so like when I got into yoga, I really had to start trying to like I woke up my lungs, I guess.
Interesting.
Because I wasn't very physically active at this point. And so yeah, so the breathing exercise was really difficult. I probably sat out for over half of it, laid down on my mat, which they do encourage, which is great. That if you just don't want to do something or you want to sit out, they encourage you to stay in the heat, but just to lay on your mat.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I can lay on my mat. So I just kind of kept going back because I liked the heat, and I figured I can just keep going and sweating it out. So, but then little by little, my body was able to hold a pose, or I was able to do something that I hadn't been able to do before, or I told you I wouldn't be able to do that. So like my mind started wondering like, what else can I do? So I started kind of tapping in, like learning that there was a little bit more of a mental aspect of it. Like, not necessarily the whole love side yet, but it was, okay, my mind is kind of powerful. If I like focus, or if I send gratitude to my body, and while I'm in my final shavasana, like then, like I would send like gratitude all the way from my feet, from supporting me, up my body at the end of it, or, you know, just like thank you, or just like trying to find, so that I started trying to offer like those connections into my hot yoga practice.
So the connections you're making in Shavasana,
Like we're more fit, like
sending the
love for like the physical, like, you know, thank you for supporting me during these poses. Thank you for being like strong and helping me back, like just, you know, or thanking my feet, thanking my, you know, legs for supporting me, thanking my, you know, core, just kind of going through and just thanking different parts of my body. I had a friend that was going to yoga with me, and we would talk about it, and it was a suggestion that we'd kind of bounced off. She had said, I think her sister-in-law or someone was doing something along those lines, and so I started trying it, and it started to kind of make a difference. And I started finding the connection, just the physical connection still, kind of, okay, my mind, what else has my mind been holding me back on? So, okay, now my body and my mind are kind of connected, but it's still not the love. Like, I hadn't found that. I had started trying other styles of yoga because I'd only known the hot yoga. So I knew the 26 poses and the 2 breathing exercises. So I didn't know there was a whole nother world outside of there, because before the hot yoga, you wouldn't have caught me in a yoga studio. That's not me. But so I went and started trying other styles, and I went into, because I was really becoming confident in my hot yoga practice, because now I'm holding poses, and now I'm strong, and, you know, I feel really confident in my practice. And so I went and I tried a couple other styles, and I went into one class, and I, like, lost that confidence that I had, like, pretty quickly on, because I didn't know any of the poses. Like, I felt out of place. I just...
What was the class?
It was a vinyasa class. Vinyasa. It was like one of my first like vinyasa classes. So I found, and I started trying other styles of yoga. I really began to find my heart in yin. Like, I really liked yin yoga. The slower connection, like the trying to find that stillness in that, like, little bit of that static stretch. Like, you know, when you find that edge and you're trying to find the stillness in there, your body wants to try to pull you back a little bit. So finding the calm and finding that, like, it was just really empowering. And then it encourages you to look inward. Like, yin, you hold these poses for longer to allow the body to release these emotions, to release the tension, and to really look inward and see where you're at. And so it showed me, like, a love. Like,
wow.
To me, yoga is like love. So for those people that are looking to, like, lose the weight or become, like, healthier, the slower yoga allows you to lose weight quicker than a fast-paced vinyasa cardio.
Why is that?
Because you are connecting with the breath, slowing down, and the body is actually able to release some of that, like, the stuff that you've been holding on to in your body. I'll see if I can find it. There was a study where they had a couple control groups, and they compared the data of the overall, like, long run. And I believe that, because when I started slowing my yoga down and spending the time in my yin and the like the gentler, like, yoga, my stomach has always been my main area of, like, I hate my stomach. It's I always used to say I hated my stomach. But when I connected with that love, and I connected with that slower, like, time, and, like, you know, I'd find times that maybe my hands were resting on here, and now I love you. Like, thank you for all that protection you've given me over the time. And it's like, I don't know, it might sound crazy, but little over time, like, it just released, and I started, like, my stomach just started getting smaller and smaller. Like, not once did I change into a radical, like, diet or anything. It was just kind of my inner dialogue changed. Like, and so I eat a lot less now because I connect. Like, you know, it's weird how it all connects.
Well, gentle yoga, it's like you're tuning into that body. Like, your body is, like, talking to you.
Well, you're slowing yourself down enough
to receive that information, and for it to, and then you're receiving that sense of, like, like your belly was probably just kind of crying to you. Like it wanted to feel that you loved it.
Like I believe truly that, because that was, the area that I was always most self-conscious about, trying to hide my stomach, is like those like words, that hate that I had, all that weight that got packed on was just my body trying to protect
from the hate.
Protect my stomach from that hate. And the way that it protected it was to make it bigger, it thought it was doing what it needed to do, but it's just kind of funny but now, like, I don't have like that hatred towards my body. Like, I see, my belly flop, or I still have a round body, but I don't view it as a problem. Like, I don't view it, like, I view my body as strong. Like, I view everything that I've been through, like, it's, it's a journey, and to go through all that and still be where I'm at, like, I don't know, it's just,
it's awesome.
It is. Yeah. It's really cool.
It is really cool that you've been able to, like, give yourself that love and that time for it to, like, open up and get comfortable with you to receive it, because it, your body probably just was waiting for you to kind of receive it and, like, fall, like, be like, oh, I hear you, I'm here for you, I love you.
Yeah, I used to look at other bigger women or bigger people, and I'd be like, yeah, she's still got a bigger butt than me, or she's still bigger, like, still try to compare and try to knock, like, to make it so I felt better. But you know what, I look at people now and I wonder, like, what's her story? Because I see, like maybe some hurt being carried around, or like, I don't view it as trying to, like, how I'm better than you because I fit into those jeans and you it's not, I don't view it like that anymore. It's more of, my weight was my hurt, so, or your weight might be a story, or you might have some weight that you don't even know about, or why it's there. Like, I don't know, it's just, our bodies are pretty amazing, and yoga kind of gives you that entry to tap into it. So in 2010, I had weight loss surgery. I had the lap band put in. I'm not sure if you're familiar with what that is. It's basically like a band that they put around the top portion of your stomach, and it can be controlled by, I have a port that can be controlled with saline solution on how wide or how small the opening of my stomach is. So basically, when there's more fluid in there, it restricts the opening to your stomach, so bread and pasta and different things, like, can't get down, because the top portion of your stomach is what tells you that you're full. So if you have that smaller pouch and you eat smaller portions, it's supposed to help you think that you're fuller longer. Well, weight loss surgery, I lost 80 pounds. But I also developed my kind of bulimic mindset, because even, like, things would get stuck. So if I didn't chew something up good enough, or there were certain types of foods, or if I was, like, extra stressed one day, or even on my period, like, it would kind of tighten, like, the band could kind of tighten just a little bit more than it is. And so, or if you were flying, that was another one. But anyways, long story short, like, I would eat knowing I was probably going to be sick. And so I did that for a while. I got to the point, I started dating my now husband, and I just wasn't happy anymore. I had lost 80 pounds. I was happy. I didn't want to feel like that, where I was getting sick all the time. Yeah. And even when I was eating, like, applesauce or, like, liquids, it had become so inflamed that I was still just getting sick. So I went and had them take the fluid out, because it's completely like, it can be, it's sad that it can almost be like a game, like, where I can go have fluid taken in and out. So I had them take the fluid out, so I could have my whole, like, just my regular stomach back. And then over the next few years, I enjoyed a few cheeseburgers, because I wasn't able to have no cheeseburgers while my band was tight. Yeah. And I just, like, the weight loss surgery didn't change my mindset on how I viewed food or my weight or my weight loss journey. It just was, it was a tool I didn't have the right mind to utilize at the time.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have the mindset to use the tool that I was given. Then over the next like few years, I kind of just, the weight comes back. I get married, and then I get pregnant, and I got up to my all-time highest. I weighed in at 355 pounds.
Wow.
So I had gained 120 pounds back. And I felt like a complete failure because I was like, how the hell do you fail weight loss surgery? Like, how do you have weight loss surgery and gain more weight than you lost after? Like, my mind, like, I really started beating myself up. So it's really, like, I'm grateful for it now, but my journey didn't start from a place of love. Like, when I started this journey to become a better me, I called that surgeon back up and had him put fluid back in, and I went straight back into that mindset of if it wasn't going to fit through, I was going to throw it up. Because this was the only way I was going to be able to do it, because obviously I couldn't do it on my own, so I was going to have to suffer through it. Like, I truly in my mind thought that if I wanted to be skinny or happy one day, like, I have to suffer through the pain of getting sick, because it would get, and it was such a norm that when we would go out to eat, I would sit my family near the restroom because I would have to get up multiple times to make it through a meal. Like, it was just, it became a distorted reality.
Yeah.
Like, and then I became bitter because why do I have to go through this? Like, why do I have to go through this to be skinny or happy like other people?
Yeah.
And so my...
Yeah, it sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds miserable. And
Yeah.
like, you've almost, like, it's like you accepted this was going to be your life forever. Like, that was it.
Yeah.
You were just going to.
I just figured that this is what I was going to have to do if I ever wanted it. Yeah, I'd have to suffer through it.
Yeah.
To deserve it, basically,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah,
Like,
and if you didn't... So then you got the lap band refilled then? Is that what you were saying?
so yeah, so
after
basically,
you had your kids?
so after I had my son, I had seen like how big I had gotten.
Yeah.
I had them go and put fluid back in
Okay.
it. And so they tightened it back up. Fluid in for the first half of, so about a year and a half, I think I started it. And some days I could eat, some days I couldn't. And then it just kind of became a cycle to where, like, even like my grandma, or like we would go out to eat, my grandma was like, are you going to be able to eat here? And I'm like, I can eat anywhere. You know, I just like,
Yeah.
Just snappy. Like, I just didn't want people judging me or worried about what I could eat or what I could do. Like, I was mad that
Like,
I couldn't just
yeah.
go there and eat. Like, I had to look to be like, okay, what's going to fit through my band, or what's going to be the easiest thing coming back up. Like, it was just kind of, it was weird. Like, I literally in my center console had those hospital throw up bags.
Oh.
And yeah, like, it was a norm, and it's just kind of crazy that my mind was trapped in, this is what I would have to suffer through to be happy. So
Yeah. So was this like your only resource? Was that like, is this what you thought was like your only...
it was my last resort. Almost. Like, yeah, because, I'd tried everything. I've always tried the diet. I remember dieting when I was younger. Like, I just, always trying to lose a little weight or whatever. And so I've any product, I've tried it. I've literally tried everything.
Wow.
And so the weight loss surgery was kind of okay, like, I was able to check off all the boxes. I had that big BMI. I had that weight. I had, I was able to check off all the boxes to get the surgery. I thought this was going to be the fix. I thought this was going to be how I was finally going to be skinny.
Yeah.
But I was going to Hawaii with my husband. And so this was May of 2017. I had the fluid taken out of my band because I wanted to be able to eat and enjoy Hawaii.
Yeah.
So, okay, and I had plans of putting this fluid back in when I got back because, I was going to go eat and live it up in Hawaii, and then when I came back, I was going to get back to reality.
Jeez.
Well, when
how did you feel in Hawaii then? Like, did you feel...
Oh, God, amazing.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, I felt amazing, like, just... Because I hadn't been able to eat for a long time, like, and I had just... and traveling. I had traveled with my mom like a month or so before, and I couldn't eat the whole time we were out of town because it was just so tight. And so it felt good. It felt that being able to eat like without the restriction, without the worry of, am I going to have to stop what we're doing so I can go get sick? But I just still didn't recognize at that point, like I had been on the journey. I was starting to kind of get more confidence, and I was seeing like areas that I was growing, but I wasn't taking the fluid out of my band because I loved myself at this point. Like I was taking the fluid out of my band because I loved to eat and I wanted to eat. When we went to Hawaii,
well, and like, also like when you don't eat, it does crazy things to your mind.
Oh yeah.
And to your overall well-being. Like it compacted onto the body, your relationship with food that you already had. Your mind doesn't even start. You don't think straight when you don't eat. Like you're a totally different person.
Literally felt like I wasn't good enough. Like I always wondered, like, why did I have to be the fat kid? Like, why me? Yeah. Like I always grew up with that self-conscious. And so like getting to the point where I felt like this was the only way, like, like, but looking back now, I'm glad that I did, because now I can help other people who have a mindset and view their self. Because if you look at how much like my mind has grown, like, and how I view, like, the way I view food now compared to how I viewed food before yoga, like it's completely changed my life. Like,
how did you view food before?
Food was like guilt, like I shouldn't be eating that, so that I would eat a whole bunch of it, like, or when I went through the drive-through, I would feel really like I would order for me and my girlfriend and her girlfriend guilt, like, and we would just and I would eat all of our meals, like, and then sometimes I would be crying because like, why am I doing this? Like I couldn't, like, it was an addiction. Like food is my addiction. Like it truly is. Like I could be in a drive-through and be so upset that I'm there, but I cannot get myself out of the drive-through. I couldn't. Wow. It was just such a pull on me that even if I knew I was gonna throw it up, like it was just like so weird. Like my mind couldn't stop. But now, like, I view it completely different. Like, I still go through the drive-through, but now I check in, like, and I'm okay, how hungry am I? Like, what am I really feeling? Like, and I order off of that, not, okay, well, I'm guilty, so I need that ice cream, and I need that burger, and I need this, and I need that. Like, I don't order for all of my emotions going into it. I just order, okay, what do you need? Yoga gave me that. Like, yoga introduced me to viewing myself, like I said, as enough, and loving myself, and learning how to love me and my body for the journey that I'm on. Like my body now, I still got a belly, I still got rolls, I still got stretch marks, but you know what? I'm damn proud of this body, and I'm about to put it all out there for people so that they can start becoming comfortable with theirs, because I want you to realize, like, it doesn't matter, like, just feel comfortable in your skin. Like, so that's why, like, I named my yoga Flexible Happiness, because I want people to learn how to, like, find their flexible happiness along our chaotic journey of life, whether it be a mental or a physical, like, flexibility. Like, you have to kind of flex both your mind and your body to find true happiness. And like, I found my happy for where I'm at. Like, I don't know where I want to be anymore because I'm happy with where I'm at. Like, I still do have, like, my moments where I'm like, girl, you could lose a few more pounds, or gosh, the scale's kind of moving up this time, or like, but then I kind of just reconnect and be like, you're a badass. Like, did you see how strong you were when you did that pose? Or did you feel like I'm just more in tune with my body? So like that number really doesn't give me the value of what I am anymore, because I watched that number not change for a year, but I watched my body change tremendously. So like, just because that number on the scale says one thing, it doesn't match like who you are, or what your heart really is. Like, and that's what people got to let go of, is that scale doesn't determine us. Because, well, what's your goal weight? Someone asked me, and I'm like, for the first time in my life, I don't know. No, what? I was like, I really don't know what I like want to weigh anymore. I said, I just want to feel good. They're like, no, like for real, like how much more do you want to lose? And I'm like, like, it was a hard concept for me to pass on to this person that I didn't have a number or a goal in mind, because we're so driven on, well, what's your goal weight, or what's your number, or how far, or what, like that
end.
The end, yeah. And it's not an end. It's like, what am I learning about myself right now? And that's what yoga has given me, is just like the permission to look inward, and the permission to know that I'm pretty awesome, and the permission to know that, like, no matter what, even if I don't meet this mark, I'm still enough. Like, there's a reason I didn't meet this mark, and this mark here is probably for another purpose. Like, it just kind of changing that perception of, if we don't hit all these perfect marks that we have in our mind, then we're not going to be that happy.
So with yoga, then, you said that, like, yin yoga started to give you, like, that sense of self-love. Why did you become a yoga teacher?
As I found, like, yoga, and as like I was working with Misty, and as I kind of realized that I started making that, like, connection, and started finding that love and finding that confidence within myself, that, yeah, I don't know a whole lot, but I want to share this with others. Like, I want other people like me, like, you know, because you don't see a lot of plus size yoga bodies or beginner yoga. Like,
Honestly, I wish I saw more.
I went back to the yoga that I went back to for the heat. Not a lot of people will just keep going back to lay down in some heat, because not everyone's like me and loves the heat like that. You know what I mean? Like, so I want to offer, like, that safe space for everyone, like, where it doesn't matter how big or how small you are, the most extreme beginner can come and feel safe and learn how to feel comfortable in their own skin, because I bet you they don't. Like, I bet you there's a part of them that doesn't feel comfortable or something, and there may be a little bit of love that I can share with them that yoga taught me. And that's what, like, I really hope to share. So,
well, you know, like, it's not just people who might look like they don't feel comfortable in their skin. Like, I sometimes don't feel comfortable in my skin, and it's, a lot of us just don't feel comfortable in our skin. And it's like, it's something that everyone thinks that everyone else is comfortable in their skin, and like, you're all alone.
Yeah.
But you're really not. But yoga gives us, like, that time, that it gives you a community, and it also gives you a time for your body to kind of, like, talk to you. And then, like, the body kind of, like, starts to take over, and the mind doesn't have that opportunity to override. It's really cool. And it can, for me, like, it gave me this opportunity to, like, just, like, fall in love with myself, and give me this permission to, like, be my authentic self.
I really drive towards that. Like, I want, like, every body is a yoga body, and just kind of replacing that doubt that you can't do yoga. Like, my mission with, like, the yoga is to break that image, like, that image that it is only for the bendy, like, flexible, skinny people, that you have to be skinny and bendy to be able to do yoga, that, like, if I am fat, or if I'm overweight, or if I have a disability, that maybe yoga's not for me. Like, everybody can do yoga. And that's what I want people to see, is that, you know, my round body can do yoga just as well as that skinny bendy chick over there. You know, like, it doesn't matter what her pose looks like compared to my pose. My body is still receiving all of the benefits that it needs from that pose that her variation is receiving in her body. Like, it doesn't matter what it looks like. It's what your body receives from it. And our bodies are so amazing, then they intuitively will receive exactly what they need if you can just take the time to slow down and breathe through that. That's all they ask. Like, that's all it asks.
Yeah.
It's for you to breathe through it.
Do you feel like society is beginning to open up more about talking about body dysmorphia, or talk about being more open with like plus size or bigger bodies?
I think they're trying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I do see it more. Like, I can go into more stores now and see plus size options, where before, when I was like plus size, I felt like I'd have to go in and I can only wear grandma clothes because the plus size ladies section was like, just not stuff that you really want to be, like, you just don't feel good wearing it when you're in your 20s, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so, but I think that they're becoming more aware. I still think that there's more time for awareness. Like, one area that I would really like to tap into is, where the hell are all the plus size yoga clothes?
Yeah,
Like, I have searched everywhere, and I'm like, I want to find a brand or something where I can tell my people, like, hey, check this out. Like, but I don't want to go find and fall in love with some yoga clothes that only go up to an extra large.
You know what I'm wondering is, like, where are, like, the proper bras for yoga that aren't, like...
that I'm not going to lose a titty out of.
No, or, like, pop a string.
Right.
Or
Right.
then there's, like, the other side of the spectrum where it, like, suffocates your chest.
I know, like, I'm so, like
hello.
it's such I've got a real nice, like, cleavage line, but I'm just, like, then I'm like, okay, well, now my whole pose is different, because when I'm going to forward fold, where I'm going to move this baby,
yeah,
like...
where am I going to put this, like, they literally, like, they get pinned together, and they go to the right, they go to the left. It's like, no, my boobs are not, like, one, they're two. Thank you.
So far, Old Navy has been my go-to. I'm somewhat positive they're somewhat see-through, but you know what?
Yeah.
Whatevs.
Turn down the lights.
Turn them down a bit. Whatevs. But no, like, honestly, I really do like these ones. But I would love to find, like, a brand or something, because I've had a couple people, like, hey, check out our stuff, like, just on Instagram. And then I go check it out, and I'm like, next, because how am I going to be, okay, guys, I really like this, but they only go to an extra large. Like, I want something inclusive. Like, and so I demand a need for some plus size yoga clothing that's affordable for people, so that they can... Anyways, that's my little rant. But
no, I get it.
To be inclusive, I think that there is definitely progress, and they're trying to be more aware, and you see a lot more body love and positive quotes around now, and they're trying to incorporate things into schools, like mindfulness and things. I think that they're trying, which is better than where we used to be. So I think that they're trying, but I still think that there's definitely a big area for improvement. So, but maybe that's something that we can offer along the way, help it change that image.
What are some resources that some people can go to learn more about, like, what we're talking about, just about body love, yoga for everybody?
So there's a few of them out there that I've kind of followed. What is it? Amber Carnes does, like, the body positive yoga. Jessamine Stanley is really about yoga for everybody.
Okay.
And she also has another perspective, because she's also African American, so she has the perspective of it being for the white bendy woman. And so it's kind of a nice, like, a different different perspective. Like, I like getting different people's perspectives from their different backgrounds and what it means to them. So
because you don't know who's gonna walk in that door.
You really don't.
And also, your children they're biracial. Yeah. So I mean, you that is you. Like, you are gonna have that. So you need to be aware of that for your children. And so does everybody does too, though, because you don't even know where people come from. You don't know what they're going through. You don't anything. So if someone was to visit your town, where would you suggest that they go?
So I tried to rack my brain on this one, and the question, I would have to answer that question with a question to be like, what do you like to do? Because there are, you're really close to, you can do water sports because we have the rivers, and I love boating.
Okay.
So summertime is I'd love to go boating, be it out on the river, inner tubing, just spending the day out there on the water. But then you can also go hiking, because we do, we have local hiking there. But then we also, for those wine drinkers, we are in wine country. And there are tons of wineries that you can go wine tasting. There's even and if you want to do wine and yoga, we've got some instructors down there that are doing wine yoga offerings. So it really honestly depends on what you're looking to do. The area is we have kind of the smaller town feel, but a lot of the big town offerings. We have some of the bigger town offerings, but some gems for outdoor stuff.
I think that's it. Yeah. Thank you so much, Miranda.
Oh, thank you. You're going to have to edit because we ramble,
know.
girl.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Miranda, for being brave and for sharing your courageous story with us about how you fell in love with yourself. You are such an inspiration to me. You can find Miranda on social media at Flexible Happiness, and Miranda has a beginning benders class every weekend, a yin yoga class every Wednesday, and chair yoga for every body every Thursday in the Tri-Cities. Links to her classes can be found in the show notes. Thank you so much for listening and for supporting the podcast. It means so much to me. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and if you like what you hear, please leave a review and share this podcast with your yogi friends. Now, if there is a yogi from your yoga community who you would like to hear on the podcast, please share their information with me. And if you have any yoga-related questions, please send them my way and I will do my best to get them answered. In the next episode, we travel to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, where we talk to the owners of a new yoga studio, The Space. We talk about meditation and what it's like to be a new yoga teacher. Now, there is a ton of yoga and wellness events going on. So here's an update of what some of our guests are up to. Links to these events can be found in the show notes. Neely Gibbons-Wadden, the prenatal yoga instructor in Spokane and the first guest on the podcast, will have yoga for pregnancy loss on February 16th. She'll have one on March 16th and April 20th at the Lotus in Spokane. Our episode 2 guest, Era, who owns the Spokane Yoga Shala, always has a bunch of events going on, so check out their Facebook or website for the latest events. But there are 2 coming up that I want to let you know about. On February 16th, they have a creative experience. I Am a Woman, Creative, Sacred, and Invincible. Then on February 23rd, they are hosting a Dreamtime Sound Journey. Space for that is limited. In episode 3, we talked to Aaron and Sam, who own the Lotus in Spokane. The Lotus is hosting a Magic Moon experience on February 17th and a Wellness Wednesday for chronic pain on February 20th. Lauren Marathew, our very special guest from episode 4, is hosting a 2-part workshop for kids yoga for yoga teachers, February 23rd and February 24th at Harmony Yoga. Links to all of these great events can be found in the show notes. Happy Valentine's Day to you. Namaste and Shanti peace to you and your household.